He didn't scream that he didn't fall to the ground. He didn't even show the world how much it hurt. Because Carlos Alcaraz knew the cameras were watching. And even in the middle of one of the most emotionally brutal nights of his entire career, he tried to protect the truth. But now, that truth is out. And it's heartbreaking. Welcome to Net Rush Report. Let's get straight into it. Carlos Alcaraz wasn't supposed to go home like this. He wasn't supposed to leave Turin limping, crushed, and carrying a silent injury nobody saw coming, that he wasn't supposed to spend the next few days apologizing to his country, his fans, and himself. But that's exactly where the world number one finds himself after the one match that changed everything. That match wasn't just a defeat. It wasn't just a straight sets loss. It was the moment Alcaraz felt something snap. A sudden pull in the back of his leg. A sharp warning that he couldn't outrun, no matter how hard he pushed. After the match, the whispers started immediately. Is he hurt? Why did he slow down? Why did he grimace after that return? Carlos tried to brush it off. He tried to say as little as possible. But athletes know their bodies better than anyone. And Carlos knew something wasn't right. And now, the MRI has confirmed the fear that was creeping in from the moment he walked off the court. A dangerous warning sign. Not a tear, but far too serious to ignore. And for a player who plays with explosive footwork, violent shifts of direction, and raw physicality, this is the kind of injury that can destroy the start of a new season if mishandled. Carlos Alcaraz has made the one decision he hoped he would never have to make. Not this time. Not with this injury. And not with the Australian Open only weeks away. When the announcement dropped, tennis fans froze. Because this wasn't just a withdrawal. This was Carlos Alcaraz walking away from the competition he has always called the biggest honor. And that made the impact even heavier. In his own words, the message he posted on social media said everything. I am very sorry to announce that I will not be able to play with Spain in the Davis Cup in Bologna. I have a muscle edema in my right hamstring, and the doctor's recommendation is not to compete. I have always said that playing for Spain is the biggest thing there is, and I was really looking forward to being able to help to fight for the title. I am going home heartbroken. Not disappointed, not frustrated. This isn't a word he uses lightly. This kid has played through pain, through pressure, through insane expectations since the age of 18. He thrives on big stages. That he rises when the spotlight gets brighter. That he wanted this badly. But the scans told him what his pride refused to accept. Spain now faces the Davis Cup finals without their biggest weapon. Without the player who just reclaimed world number one. And without the star who was expected to carry the team deep into the event. Their squad now includes John Munar, Pedro Martinez, Pablo Carreño Busta, Marcel Granollers, and now another player will have to be called in as the fifth member. And here's the twist. Spain wasn't the only country hit hard. Yes, the same Jannik Sinner who defeated Alcaraz in Turin. The same Sinner who ended the year with the biggest emotional win of his career. The same Sinner who admitted he needed to rest ahead of the 2026 Australian Open. So now, the Davis Cup Finals will happen without the two best players in the world, without the ATP Finals champion, and without the year-end world number one. And if that doesn't shake the entire tournament, nothing will. But back to Alcaraz, because his situation is deeper than one withdrawal. This hamstring issue didn't come out of nowhere. The signs were there. Right after the final in Turin, he publicly admitted that single moment, one explosive movement, was all it took. The MRI simply confirmed what he already feared, that a muscle edema means swelling inside the muscle tissue, often caused by overstress or micro damage. It isn't a tear, but it's a red flag. You don't gamble with it. You don't push through it. Not when January holds the first Grand Slam of the year and the chance to kick off 2026 as strong as possible. And let's be clear, Carlos wants that Australian Open badly. He wants a fresh start. He wants revenge after losing the ATP Finals title. He wants to prove that reclaiming world number one wasn't a fluke. He wants to silence the growing whispers that Sinner has his number. This injury forces him to stop, but it also forces him to think. And sometimes, those moments are the ones that push a champion to evolve. The reality is simple. Carlos Alcaraz made the painful decision today to protect tomorrow. That he could have ignored the scans. He could have forced his way into the Spanish lineup. He could have risked everything for pride. But he didn't. He chose long-term greatness over short-term emotion. And that is the exact decision a future legend makes. Spain will miss him. Of course they will. Fans will feel the disappointment, naturally. But Carlos Alcaraz returning healthy, fully recovered, and ready to attack the Australian Open, that matters more. Much more. And now he goes home. Not as the warrior who just finished another season, but as the young champion fighting a different battle. Rest, recovery, rebuilding. Not dramatic, not glamorous, not televised, but absolutely essential that he leaves heartbroken, but more dangerous than ever once he heals. And that's the latest on Carlos Alcaraz's heartbreaking withdrawal from the Davis Cup. That if you want more breaking updates, deeper analysis, and raw emotional stories from the world of tennis, make sure you're locked in right here on NetRush Report. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.